anti-aging, longevity, hormone replacement therapy. Nowadays, there are so many supplements on the market. And how do we know if we actually need them or not? I love to test. In functional medicine, we have this amazing Metabolomix test. That's a urinary home test. Imagine you only urinate, ship it with the DHL, and within 10 days, you know which supplements do you really need and where do you stand? How is your mitochondrial health? Mitochondrial, the energy powerhouse. How is your oxidative stress? All the free radicals that have impact on you. What is your antioxidant status? And how many toxins do you have in your body? Isn't it amazing? So if you are interested what the test looks like, how much it costs, and most importantly, how to prepare for it, as always, I'm sharing with you the real results of real clients of mine. Of course, I'm not showing any name, but you can see it's a female, 37 years old. And maybe just to explain a little bit about her, she is eating healthily, she is exercising, and she wants to get pregnant. So we are looking at which vitamins and minerals she will need. We have also done for her stool tests, DNA test, and many other tests. So I know quite a lot about her, but this was the cherry on the top of this beautiful cake that helped us to connect everything together. So as I said before, we are looking at different categories. We are looking at oxidative stress. So what is oxidative stress? So oxidative stress is a damage of the cells caused by free radicals. And free radicals are single molecules that are trying to pair with some other molecules in our body. And usually they steal other electrons from other molecules, and they can, for example, damage the DNA, or they can damage any lining. And it's these oxygen species, the single molecules. And then you have heard most probably about antioxidants that are donating one molecule to these free radicals so that they stay in pair, so they neutralize the damage. And antioxidants are either in supplements, obviously, or in food. And we preferably want to use food as a medicine. That's the core of the functional medicine. So, of course, when you are working with me, I will be telling you which food is high in polyphenols and carotenoids and so on, so that you absorb all these amazing antioxidants from food. But sometimes happens that we have high levels of oxidative stress, as you can see in this case, and because this woman wants to get pregnant, I will also order for her and get delivered to her address and pay for the antioxidant supplements that she needs based on these results. The second area that we are looking at is the mitochondrial function. Yeah? So mitochondria is the energy powerhouse that has electron transport chain that is creating this energy. And everything is energy, and energy is everything. Without energy, we cannot function. So even though this result says like 0, everything is fine, remember that this has been generated in the system, and it does not recognize when you are getting almost outside of the reference range. So I then check every single marker and I connect the dots together and I tell her what to eat. Then we are looking at toxic exposure. Again, you might see there some yellow triangles. So when the triangle is showing up, it's too high. Too much of something. And why do we have too much of something? Because there is a bottleneck that blocked it to go to the next step. And sometimes this is caused by lack of nutrients, so vitamins and minerals. And the last category is about methylation, this buzzword that we hear everywhere now, because we all want to detoxify, we all want to methylate well, because like this we are protecting our DNA and we are getting rid of the toxins. And for somebody who, for example, has like a genetic predisposition for cancer, they definitely want to make sure that they detoxify well, that their DNA does not get damaged, and therefore it does not cause the cellular errors and replication with mistakes, which can cause cancer in the end. So you can see that this report has actually 12 pages. How long? Yes. And that's why functional medicine takes quite a long time, because we have to look at everything in context with the questionnaire and other tests and what the client wants to achieve. Remember, preparation for this urinary test is that for minimum 10 days, minimum, you are not allowed to take any supplements. Because if you, for example, took supplements of vitamin A, of course it's going to be, the metabolites are going to be in the urine, and then it will say that everything is fine. You don't need any supplements. So what we are looking at is how much you can absorb from food. And you can right away see that this person doesn't have enough vitamin A, E, alpha lipoic acid, which is a powerful antioxidant, glutathione, which is endogenous antioxidant, so it's produced by our own body, but now it's a big hit and we are taking it in supplements. And then, of course, plant-based antioxidants. So how comes she is eating healthily? I see the pictures of food, but she's not absorbing it. And if you recall, maybe you have watched a stool test of a client that had H. pylori, Helicobacter pylori, and did not absorb anything at all. Well, it's this person. So we can see that the root cause, when we were going upstream in the functional medicine looking for the root cause, and we discovered that there was this H. pylori and bacterial overgrowth and dysbiosis, she wasn't absorbing properly. So we implement the 5R. First we remove, replace, repopulate, and so on. And only then she's going to supplement all these. Because if we don't get rid of the pathogenic bacteria, with the supplements, we would be feeding them. Yeah. But right away, you can see that, for example, B6 that is in the methylation, she didn't have enough. And of course, I could see gastrointestinal support. So the digestive enzymes, lipase, amylase, protease, bromelain, papain, and so on. She's definitely going to supplement for a short period of time. And then once we kill the pathogens, because first we need to remove, then we are going to introduce also probiotics to repopulate. But all of that will come later. And you can see that we have all these amino acids that are basically building blocks, protein, and she has high needs of isoleucine, which is a branch chain amino acid. We absolutely need it. And then we were looking at cysteine that we also need for the glutathione, and we need it for building the collagen and so on. And tyrosine, believe it or not, this person had hypothyroidism, and she kept going to the endocrinologist and swallowing the pills, the synthetic T4. But if you don't have the building block, so T4, right? Thyroid hormone T4 is the storage. We need tyrosine as the building block, and then we need four molecules of iodine, iod. And she didn't have it. So we had so many aha moments when we went through this. Then this protocol or this report explains to you everything about like vitamins and minerals, why do you need them, what would be the root cause if you have a deficiency. I'm just going to skip it, and I want to show you this is citric cycle, Krebs cycle. This is how we produce in our body energy. Oh, how beautiful it is. How beautiful. So when we eat fatty acids, so that's fat, avocado, oil, nuts, carbohydrates, bread, pasta, rice, potatoes, beetroot. All of this is carbohydrates, and then we eat protein, so it's meat, fish, eggs, cottage cheese, and so on. And then we break it down, right? And as you can see, even for this, we need, for example, magnesium and B2. So when you eat fat and you don't have sufficient amount of magnesium and B2, you cannot, in the beta oxidation, create ketones. And then from the ketones, it cannot go anywhere else. Then how do we break down the carbohydrates? Again, we need magnesium. Magnesium is the answer for everything, and the B vitamins, definitely, and alpha lipoic acid as well. Yeah. And so I'm not going to go totally in the details of what I found. You can also see that for this you need glutathione, iron, and so on. And then we are feeding the electron transport chain. What caught my attention in here and why she actually has a high levels of oxidative stress is that she has high levels of lipid peroxidase. So peroxide, maybe you have heard it like with the when we are bleaching the hair, all these like toxins in the body. So this lipid peroxidase is damaging the phospholipid bilayer. So every single cell in our body has a protection phospholipid bilayer. Yeah, and this lipid peroxidase comes and it's damaging it. And when the membrane is damaged, then all the receptors that we have, the receptors, for example, for hormones, what the cell is supposed to do, or sodium potassium pump, anything that has been embedded in the membrane might be damaged. So we will definitely need to think of how to fix this, how to improve it. And then, so we have this electron transport chain that is basically taking the electrons. And then here we have like a spiral that is creating ATP, this adenosine triphosphate, which is the energy, right, that we need to have. Even if we don't eat, we still need the energy. And then you can, for example, see this 8-OHDG, which is oxidative marker. So again, these are the reason why the oxidative stress was marked high. We are also looking at malabsorption and digestive markers. So all these are acids, so breakdown products that we find in the urine from something. So this is, for example, undigested protein. Yeah. So we can see that it's high. She's not digesting protein. If she does not digest protein, why does she not digest protein? Because she has H. pylori. H. pylori in the stomach doesn't like the hydrochloric acid, doesn't like the acidity. So it's going to create alkaline environment. And in the alkaline environment, we cannot break down the food and all the signaling that comes actually and then digest it in the small intestine. So it comes to the large intestine. It's feeding some pathogenic bacteria, which you could have seen in her results in a stool tests, and so on. Then we can also see that she has dysbiosis, which we've seen in the stool test as well, with the yeast and fungus. So D-arabinitol is a byproduct of candida. It's not so high, but it is there. And then we are looking at the breakdown product of B vitamins. We know what she's missing, biotin, and so on. And then what might catch your attention in here is serotonin markers. So you might know serotonin as a happy hormone, yes? But serotonin, up to 90%, is produced by the bacteria in the gut. And then it doesn't really cross the blood-brain barrier. So the serotonin that we create in the gut does not get into the brain. And it's the brain that is also creating this neurotransmitter. But the serotonin that we create in the gut has, for example, impact on motility of our intestine. Is these butterflies in the stomach that sometimes might cause diarrhea or that you quickly have to run to the toilet. And when we have some bacterial overgrowth from species like commensal bacteria that normally lives with us, but when it overgrows, it might also cause high levels of serotonin, yeah? Which shows us that there is a dysbiosis. And what else I would point out to you? For example, some toxins that are like in a like yellow range, and we are going to support the detoxification. Yeah, and here we have the oxidative damage that was like pretty high. This is amazing test, of course. Shows you all the pathways. We can, for example, see this high FIGLU. For that, it's a bottleneck. It got blocked. It cannot go further. Why it cannot go further? Because this THF, it means tetrahydrofolate. And tetrahydrofolate is an active natural form of the folic acid. So folic acid, when you take it as a supplement, which I don't recommend, is basically synthetic. Yeah, and folate is in green leafy vegetable. But if she cannot digest it, even though she eats healthily, then we need to supplement tetrahydrofolate. Yeah. isoleucine branch chain amino acid. She's going to supplement it as well. And then you can always see that there is a need for the B vitamins. B vitamins are needed for everything. So here is just a list of the amino acids, the protein that she needs. We are also looking at, for example, high levels of urea, so ammonia. So urea cycle is trying to get rid of the ammonia, that is a toxic molecule. And this is also caused by bacteria. So this person has a recurrent urinary tract infection. We have done other tests. We know that she has E. coli, this bacteria that is causing it, and we are doing antimicrobial protocol as a first step in the functional medicine 5R protocol. And we are, of course, going to support the thyroid gland, not only with supplements, but also hormone yoga therapy. If you did not check the hormone yoga therapy, I highly recommend it. If you are interested in finding the root cause of your health issues and you would like to know more about Metabolomix and how you can invest into your health and prevent disease, how to become the master of your health and the captain of your soul, then definitely check my packages because I would be delighted to help you.